Start from the top. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Adventure Archive. My name is Ryan. I will be your dungeon master tonight as we continue our adventures in the Dark Kingdoms. With me, as always, we have Matt as Victor of the Caldera, the human death cleric, Jess as Dariana Bloodright, the elf-marked Seraphage sorceress, Jason as Cutter the Faceless, the Daracool rogue duelist, Eric as Sylvester, the Dampier Warlock, with his Spine Devil familiar Annie. And usually we have Andy as Beat'em Dobblebreen, our gnome divination wizard, but he is not with us this evening. The Dark Kingdoms takes place in the Midgard setting, which is published by Kobold Press. So you will notice some differences, some of the races, classes, features, spells, all that stuff. If you have any questions, just drop them in chat. And please be aware, this is an evil campaign containing evil aligned characters in a dark fantasy setting, and as such, may not be suitable for some audiences. Graphic descriptions of gore, murder, mutilation, self-mutilation, and torture are fairly common. So once again, please be aware of that. We would love to have you here, but if those things are triggering to you at all, it would probably be best if you were not. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Glad to be
and
back.
Thank you, Omega Ohm, for being here and for letting us know that you could not hear us. Hey, what's up, Dizzy? Dizzy and Sursa. Dizzy was in my prep today all day. So it's nice to have new people and new viewers.
Oh, so he's never seen a Dark Kingdoms?
I don't think he has.
Oh,
just met today, so we'll see how it goes today. Do we have any housekeeping?
I don't believe so, unless you want to talk about Team of Mercy again.
It's happening. We'll get to it. Check out the stream I recently did with Source of Victory. Eric, why do you look like you've spent the entire day in the Seawall Desert once again?
Let me adjust that.
He does.
It was a good 4th of July. I was out in the sun.
That's what it was. Just on the beach the entire day.
Yeah, hold on. Let me adjust this.
Yeah, just adjust.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we
go.
go. That is the color of human flesh right there.
Hey, we're in the desert. I was trying to be in character.
There you go. You
tender skin.
Oh, I believe Saoirse's book comes out on Friday, right? Is that right?
I believe so. Right? He said that the gift copies are in the mail. Saoirse has a book coming out. Check out his website. Fuck. I was supposed to update
his website is fuck.com. Everybody, go check it out.
He must have registered that early.
How did you get that?
Because I'm trying to get it. It's gone.
I know.
I know who
in SFW.
Saoirse was in early.
Necessarily go to fuck.com. Fuck.coom. All right.
Oh man, I can't wait for that one to come out. I'm gonna buy that.
Welcome everybody. This is what happens when you take 1 week off. Let me write this in big letters. Update Saoirse shout out. So go check out his website, go check out his new book coming out. It is Tomb of the Everstar Sisterhood. It is a more like young adult
8 to 12
themed, 8 to 12 choose your own adventure book. And if that sparks your interest at all, you can check out his other recent choose your own adventure book, The Coiled Crown, which is fantastic. You can't see it. I have a shelf right here. It is on it. There you go. sourcevictory.com/Everstar. Check out that website, and you will see his book that is dropping very, very soon, as well as on his website a ton of other content. And I know he also has some classes, some RPG classes that are coming around very soon, plus ones that are, still on there. So Saoirse is a wonderful content creator and a great friend to the stream, to also personally. So go check out his stuff. He is wonderful. Tomb of Mercy, as we were just talking about, is also written by Source of Victory. It is a Death Trap dungeon. At this point, all I really need to do, because Saoirse and I had a wonderful chat this past Saturday, going through the entire dungeon, start to finish, talking about all the different parts of it, rationales, Death Trap Dungeon stuff. If you want to check that out, you can check that on my private channel. It's Melee After Dark here on Twitch. But that, my plan as of right now, if I can get everything done, will be run on the 24th, which is a Saturday. And hopefully we run that straight through. And I kill the players a whole lot, which will be great. So those are things that are coming up, and we'll talk about, do shout outs and talk about the rest of our stream stuff at the end. So to begin, since we did have a little bit of a break, let me do a slight recap on where we are in the campaign. So starting with basically the arc since we started stream, this is an Evo campaign, and the characters work for the king of the Vampire Imperium, not Vampire Imperium, the king of Morgau, the Vampire Kingdom. It is King Lucan. He has tasked the players with two goals. One, to discover what faction seems to be trying to interfere with the vampire alliance with the Ghoul Imperium, who they together 10 years ago conquered the kingdom of Krakovar and brought into the fold of the kingdom of Morgau. And two, that there is a heretical sect of basically the state religion, the Blood Sisters of Morena, called the Red Winter, that it worships Morena but believes that vampires do not belong in the church. They're considered a heretical sect, and he has asked the players, in addition to finding out who is trying to interfere with the alliance of the Ghoul Imperium, to find and wipe out this heretical sect of Red Sisters. Through the trials and tribulations, they have discovered that there is one member of the royal family of the fallen kingdom of Krakovar, the kingdom they conquered 10 years ago, whose blood is to be used in a ritual that could alter the course of history and the world as they know it. And they have also discovered that it seems to be Drago Blackfly, one of the favorites of the Ghoul Emperor, Nisophoros, who seems to be leading some type of action against the Imperium. Hello, Jax. How are you? The players have tried to hunt down the Archduke, and he keeps continuously slipping through their grasps. The last time he was actually taken by members of the Ghoul Imperium underground, forcing them to head to the Southland city of Seawall to try to obtain an item from the Gravebinders that would allow them to walk freely amongst the undead in the underworld. They succeeded in purging the Grand Necropolis of Seawall of the evil that plagued it, thereby receiving a book to the god Anu Atma that will allow them to appear as Darakul in the underworld. They then met a recent ally, thanks Dizzy for the follow, Selvin, who had guided them on the Shadow Road, and she told them a number of things. The first of which is that, start here. There seems to be an unnamed benefactor within the Imperium that has been keeping track of the party's movements and whereabouts and would like to aid them. When they had previously met Selvin, she appeared as a Shadow Fae, but was in fact revealed to be a Darakul Shadow Fae and member of the Ghoul Imperium. She gave the characters a bit of information and a bit of a boon. That boon being a key gifted to her by their unnamed benefactor that would allow the Shadow Road to be opened as a portal to the underworld into the outskirts of the Ghoul Imperium. She also passed on a bit of information in the form of a story, and that story goes as such. Just over 100 years ago, the ghoul Tonduril the Bonebreaker consolidated power by wiping out all of the independent ghoul lords and unifying the ghouls below the surface. He became the first emperor of the Ghoul Imperium. One of the ghoul lords, Emperor Tonduril was said to have slain was Narosane, the last king. It is said that Narasane wasn't slain, but is in hiding, waiting for an opportunity to destabilize the Imperium. She also told you that there are many in the Empire who remain loyal to him and who would like to see him return to power. They're not the most desirable of associates. He might be a useful ally if the party plans to infiltrate the Imperium. She also told you that he is often associated with insects, and if he survived his assassination, a large concentration of insects might lead you to his location. She then told you that you have 3 days to rest, gird yourself, prepare for your trip, and meet her back where you had let out from the shadow roads at the small park. You would travel down from the Krakovar region in the middle of Midgard, the crossroads.
Yeah.
You also have in your possession Embalmer space that you found in the Grand Necropolis of Siwa. And I believe yesterday, before you went to sleep, you had found out some additional information as you infiltrated the home of Farah Hijadi, the Gravebinder that you had been dealing with, that left the city instead of being murdered by you, but was plagued by terrible dreams nonetheless. You then rested last evening, and when you wake up today, that is where we will start. What would you all like to do?
So I have a quick question. Who else needs to be healed? Because part of what we were doing with these couple days was Victor was going to restore some body parts to people.
Yeah, Sylvester, I believe we talk about this. We're going to do a little bit every day, but we do not need to hold up. I have been told to put my eyeball back so I can be as beautiful as ever. Perhaps good looking as you. Yes.
Don't press your luck, but it does have a certain charm to it.
So is there just is your eyelid just kind of squashed down where your eye was right now?
Yeah,
like,
so it should. I mean, open? I've been bad in that. Like, if I cover it up, you still see the eyeball because of how the snap lens.
What you're saying is I should have made you an alt.
No, just that. Yeah, that he'll have his eyeball by the end of tonight. So
who's missing what?
It's just,
I think, right? Just me.
So we healed Cutter. We healed Beatum. Jess was fine, and Sylvester, you said that you were fine too.
I'm missing a pinky, so if we get around to it at some point,
yeah,
nice. It's my fancy drinking pinky, but other than that, okay.
And Jess, you're missing a pinky toe.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
So when they get around to it, not as important as half of Cutter being chopped off and Beatum's spell
and
casting
their
tongue.
tongues. It's tongue.
Yeah. So, I think Cutter is the only member of your party that doesn't cast spells, though, huh?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And I think we like Cutter better without a tongue.
I think Cutter liked Cutter better without a tongue.
Update Sursa Shadow. Let's put that right here. We had some previous party members that would have been much better without a tongue as well, but alas.
Yeah, Dre was an asshole.
Not too soon.
So today's our last day there, correct? And then we're supposed to meet her tomorrow. Is that kind of the deal for time frame wise?
Yes, it's tomorrow evening. Or we could say that it's tonight evening. It depends on how many days you actually feel like you need to be here. You don't have to wait all 3 days. You can go to her anytime
we
you would
can
like.
Fast forward. Okay, well, one thing I wanted to do was, I know they want to, I did too, but is obviously do the Beatum mummification situation. But when I had gone to the what were they called? The Gravebinder what was that building called? I'm sorry, my notes are all over the place.
Oh, I know what it is.
The Hall of the Gravebinders, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was closed because it was getting near sunset. So I wanted to go back there in the morning.
Okay. So, as each of you wake up, I know that Beatum is in a room by himself right now. He had locked himself in. The other two of you, I guess, or the other three of you, I guess, are sharing a room, and Jess is with Brian. So, as the sun begins to come up and the day starts, what are each of you doing?
Victor,
I'm gonna get up and head, depending on time of morning, I'm gonna head to the Hall of the Gravebinders.
You're just going to get up and head straight out?
Well, that's why I said depends on time of morning. I guess if it's early enough where I think it wouldn't be open yet, I probably wouldn't go. I'd probably wait till like late morning when I feel there's a better chance it would be available.
Okay. And what about the rest of you?
You're gonna
So at some
tell us,
point you're
right?
gonna head
Or
that
you
way.
just take it on?
Victor would lightly.
I'd probably tell you because it'd be late morning. So, yeah.
Okay.
Victor would lightly knock on Beatum's door because one, like, he's never sure if Beatum gets his hand on Requiem or not. It's just going to kind of check in with him and see how preparations are going.
Gotcha. Well, why don't you roll me a perception check?
Okay. Okay. 12.
Good
Can
enough.
I bless it?
Sure, if you want to. Go
Yeah,
for it.
let's do it just to be fair.
I'm never gonna
There we
stop
go.
a
15. That's
a
better.
bless.
Yeah, let's use it. Get in the habit.
Let me open Stream Elements. Log in.
Go ham.
Yeah,
and
baby.
go ham. Get some go hams in the chat. Whoa,
in the
Stream
spirit
Elements.
of
Why
Vito.
you look different? I don't like it. Oh, what are you doing, man? My overlays. For those that are unaware of what we were talking about with Blesses and Banes, you can aid the party with your Blesses and Banes. You will notice underneath the players on mine, I have 9 Banes. The gold number is Blesses, which allows the players to add a D4 to their rolls. The pink number is Shields, which we need to talk about. You have a lot of those, and they change a lot of things. Those might need to get a little bit more expensive. And then the red and blue numbers are when the players roll ability checks or saving throws and get a 1 or 20, we use the luck deck. Now it's called Fate and Fortunes deck from Nord Games to give them a card that is either beneficial or really crappy for them. So those are what those numbers mean. So you are, you said you are blessing this roll?
Yeah, so I should be down to 9, I guess.
Matt, bless, settings, 9, save. Okay.
Can you, just 'cause they're so dark, can you read off like what how many shields there are for us?
Are they that dark for you guys?
Just-
There's five for Matt, 6 for Jess, 7 for Jason, and 4 for Eric.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
No worries. If it's dark, I can lighten that color up. I just thought the pink was pretty bright, but
No,
maybe
I'm my Wi-Fi went low, so it's just a little fuzzy.
Gotcha. So total of a 15. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. You smell Requiem. Not a little bit. You smell a lot of Requiem to the point that you actually see it wafting out from underneath the door and burning your nose. It's an amount of Requiem that troubles you.
When I jiggle the handle, is it locked?
It is not locked. And the rest of you, if you're waking up too, it is enough Requiem that you all smell at least a little bit of it, enough to know what it is. It is very acrid smell, always has been to begin with, and it is a very distinct smell.
Okay. I don't. So can I do some sort of a check just so I would know, like, if I walk into this, like, is it gonna lay me on my ass? Because I'm not.
Yeah, roll me a medicine check.
Okay. I'll do the same thing. I'll bless this too. Use them up. Oh, Nat. There we go. So,
Too bad you
dirty
did a nat
30.
20?
Dirty 30. Yeah, dirty 30.
Too bad you
Dang.
didn't use that medicine check when you're doing his
Right?
mummification.
That would be great
Right,
for
right.
you. You did, though, and I know we just talked about it. You did just earn yourself a blue card.
Oh,
I
nice.
have no idea where your tokens are on here. So remind me when we get to an area where you need tokens again, that you earned a blue card.
Nice.
And let me actually bring that up and add that to you right away.
Thank you.
Matt, blue card settings 1. Save. You, my friend, earned yourself a blue card. That blue card is you receive the maximum amount of healing possible from any one source.
Ooh, nice.
Considering you are the healer, you can take your max healing. You know what? Do you want that, or would you like another one? Because we've already said
I think another one would be more fun. Yeah, another one.
Healing potions give you max damage, and your heals kind of, if you use like the heal spell, you just get a set number anyway, so it's not a super helpful one.
Yeah, let's do something more fun.
Plus 1d12 on any saving throw. Wouldn't it be nice if that was plus 1d12 on any check coming up on this, wouldn't it? Yeah. So let me adjust that. Don't forget, Jason actually has the 1d12 on a skill or attack roll.
Yeah.
So let me update that real quick for you.
Oh, that'd be good.
Matt, plus 1d12 on a saving throw. So you get the sense that it is a lot of Requiem, but if you just kind of cover your face a little bit when you walk into it, you probably won't get a contact high. It'll probably just kind of annoy you a little bit, but it's not like you'll see the dead and get addicted or anything.
Nice. So Victor is gonna kind of walk in and he's waving kind of the smoke away.
So as the door opens, I do want to say for the people watching, again, this is an evil campaign in a dark fantasy setting. There are some mature themes that we discuss. One of those is drugs, and tonight there will be another theme. If that is not something that you would enjoy, including overusing drugs, I would recommend you just lurking for a little while. So, as you walk into Beatum's room, you see it choked with smoke. The familiar smell of Requiem has already invaded your senses, and it's causing your eyes and lungs to burn. As you wave through the air and the smoke clears, you see Beatum lying in just his smaller clothes on the floor. There's a small brazier next to him that is still smoking, and he is surrounded by unburned candles. At his feet, unburned candles.
Okay.
At his feet, you see rolled up 3 scrolls, and laying on his chest, you see a piece of parchment folded over with the word Victor scrawled across it.
I love it. Oh man, it's too bad Victor can't read. No.
As you get closer to Beatum, you see that it is gasping for air in ragged, short, and shallow breaths.
Okay. So Victor kneels down kind of by Beatum, and it kind of feels similar, like one knee kind of by his head. Is he face up or face down?
He's face up.
And the thing's on his chest.
There's a note scrawled across his chest, and he's just laying there basically in whatever gnomish boxers exist.
So, the undies. It probably has some toe holes. So what I'll do is I'm gonna actually take the note and kind of slip it, and I've got that kind of big wrap thing around me with the clothing. I'm gonna slip it into the sash that I've got, that big red sash with the note, and I'm gonna scoop up Beatum as I have many times before. And initially, at least, it doesn't seem like the candles are lit yet. I'm gonna try, the brazier's still smoking. Is there like a lid for it?
Oh, there's not.
There's not. Okay, so I'm gonna actually take him out of the room if I can and close the door behind me and try to take him into one of our other guest rooms for now, just so that we can read, so I can read the note and figure out, because or I guess, can I make some sort of a check does he have this thing already rolling? Like the arcane piece of this is already going? Do I see cards or anything?
Two things.
Okay.
When you kneel down and kind of touch Beatum, laying a hand on his chest, you feel that his heartbeat is incredibly weak and erratic and barely discernible. And as you begin to try to move him, his breathing gets worse. You feel it's probably not a good idea.
Okay.
He's basically just...
Okay, so so there's no one in the background. So I think what Victor's going to do then is he's going to close the door behind him. He feels pretty comfortable that he's not going to get too high, and he's going to open the note up and read it.
Okay. When you open the note, this is what it says. Victor, I have saved you the effort of ending my life to give you the honor of making me undead. I trust you, Victor. Follow the instructions and use your knowledge of medicine when instructions seem unclear. I will see you soon, though it may take some time to wake me from the mummification process. I know you are strong and will not willingly let me fade into nothing.
That's awesome.
And it's signed Beatum.
Okay.
After reading this, you get the sense that Beatum's intention was to OD and kill himself.
Yeah.
To better prepare himself to be turned undead. But he is not quite there yet.
Okay.
Laying next to the 3 scrolls, you see the jar of embalming paste.
Yeah, and I've got the instructions up right here. Okay.
There is, for chat and everyone, there is a small piece of paper tucked with the jar that has some small instructions. It says, in order to use the embalmer's paste, you must tear up 3 spell scrolls, apply this paste to the strips, and bind the supplicant in the wrappings. You must then use your skills and beseech your god to initiate the ritual. For those that don't know what we are talking about, that might be newer to the stream, there's an item that they found recently in the dungeon. It is called Embalmer's Paste. Basically, it is a paste that will allow one player, there's enough to be used on one person. And when applied to someone in a ritual, it can turn somebody undead by going through a mummification process with spell scrolls that will also imbue those spell scrolls onto the player. Should they succeed as well as possible in this ritual, all 3 spell scrolls, shredded to make the wrappings, will be imprinted on the player, on the character, and they will be able to use those imprinted spells once per day, one of those spells once per day. If they only partially succeed in the ritual, only one of those spells will be imprinted, and if they fail at the ritual, they will receive permanent disadvantage on saving throws forever. A wish could potentially turn it. Otherwise, there's nothing that can fix it.
It wasn't just saving throws, it was death saves.
Death saving throws. Permanent disadvantage on death saving throws. And this item was, in fact, created by Sirs of Victory. The other thing, as you're reading this, as you're seeing Beatum, is the room is kind of clearing from this acrid smoke. Mm-hmm. And again, with Beatum just agonally breathing in front of you, barely hanging on by a thread, you get the sense that if you fail at this ritual, mm-hmm. the shock will kill him.
Yeah. Understood. Okay.
Let's do this.
So what Victor does, what's the light like in the room?
I mean, it's morning, so there's light coming in through the window. Okay. You could also clear the room a little bit if you opened that window.
Yeah, so first thing Victor's going to do, is there something heavy that he can like move in front of the door just so they're not disturbed?
I mean, you might be able to drag the bed across. People will probably hear it being dragged across.
Okay. There is a lock on it?
Yeah, there's a lock on the inside.
All right, so he's just going to go ahead, lock it the best he can, and then he'll take like a little wedge of something and just kind of wedge it under the door, so at least like if it does start opening, hopefully it won't go too far open. And he's going to open the window up, and then he kind of says something in Kariv, and that brazier is kind of like, there's a little bit of flames coming through it, flickering, and he kind of, if this is okay, like uses thaumaturgy just to make those flickering flames kind of come up like a little bit and kind of be more in like that. I think the gnomes in Nimheim kind of red is like a color for them, and then he's gonna use light also, and then kind of put some red light like around like the ritual itself. When he looks on the floor, how many candles are there?
There are 9 candles, but you also know as you spark up the brazier more, there is requiem in the brazier. If you continue to let it burn bright like this, you will imbibe enough requiem to be affected by it.
So can he snuff the requiem?
Yeah, I mean it's a small brazier. It's almost like a large mortar bowl. And there's bits. It's just smoldering basically on the remnants of the requiem.
Is it okay to say that maybe there's like a small bowl, like a hand bowl or something like that? He just takes the bowl and like,
yeah, I'm sure there's a water basin. Okay. Yeah. You can just dump the cherry and everything into the
he'll take the brazier and he's not gonna like chuck it out the window. He's just gonna kind of put it as far out of the way as possible to the side. Do the 9 candles look like they're pretty specifically located by Beatum?
They're spaced evenly around his body. Yeah.
Okay. And there was, from when I read this note, I don't see anything. He says follow the instructions. Is there anything that could be indicated where like I need to get these candles rolling? Because I don't see that in the embalmer's case instructions, but maybe Beatum needs this or needs some cards or something.
There's nothing specific, and there's nothing specifically that says there needs to be candles. This feels more like Beatum just creating a
vibe,
a kind of ritualistic vibe, a scenario that draws you into what you're doing, as opposed to. You also notice in the note it does say where there are not instructions, just use your skills and feel it out. So
yeah, so he's gonna go ahead and put the light that he was going to use on the 9 candles, so it's like not an actual flame that could fuck things up and like light the room on fire, but it'll just like give a little bit of light.
How long has he been over there?
Who, Victor?
Yeah.
At this point, probably five plus minutes to kind of like, oh my gosh, feel him, touch him, do everything like that. And again, once the door opens, that requiem kind of billows into the hallway. So all of you at this point smell it as well.
Okay.
I'm going to head over there. I'm going to follow my nose.
Yeah, same here.
Me too.
Okay. So all of you kind of get to the door around the same time. And you see the hallway is hazy from this from this smell that all of you know is Requiem. And you all get to the door. You hear a little bit of shuffling going around inside the room. But what are you going to do?
I'm going to open the door and just go in.
Oh, okay.
Okay. As you try to open the door, it is locked.
It does Victor,
All right.
because it's pretty quiet in there. Can he hear it jiggling?
Yeah, you absolutely hear like a jangling, and I think
Okay.
Sylvester's actually knocking on the door as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Victor comes to the door and cracks it, but has that little wedge in it. Yes.
What's going on in there?
Sylvester. Right now, Beatum has chosen to show his true strength. He is on brink of death already. Can you do me a favor? Keep people out of the room so that I may attempt to mummify them.
I can do that. I think it might be helpful if you had one of us come in and help you, just to lend a hand, tear strips, hand you what you need. Things of that nature.
You are always the wise, the smart one, Sylvester. Yes, and he pulls the wedge and then kind of cracks the door like enough that like
A crack's worth.
Sly can come in. Yeah, it's like a half metric
Cracksworth.
crack's worth.
Yeah.
And I guess he sees Cutter at that point, and then he's like, "Does everybody want to come in?"
Yeah, I'm going to go in.
Darian.
And I don't breathe, so I'm guessing the smoke doesn't really affect me.
Not really.
It's just obscured.
There are
yeah.
different ways
So are
to
you
apply
telling
Requiem.
me that he's chosen cold flesh to warm? Is that what you're saying?
It is my belief that he has chosen to join the ranks of you, Cutter. He's the magic.
Good choice.
Yes. Also, perhaps he's scared of you one day partaking of him. So here is Dariana, are you in the room?
Yeah.
Okay. So Victor goes ahead and closes the door and kind of.
I'll stay out. They've got some. I just thought somebody should help. And sorry, no nurse outfit. I would have if I would have got in, but I'm gonna stay outside just to kind of watch the hallway.
Okay, so you kind of tell us that. Yes.
Yeah, I'll
Sylvester,
wait out here like you asked to make sure nobody disturbs you.
I think that would be an excellent idea.
And
Victor, I don't know much about mummification, but do you use the organs?
I do not think this is the time to joke.
so good.
This is what I understand, Cutter.
I'm a bit famished is all. Just asking.
I tell you what, Cutter, if we can make this work, it is my understanding it will take Beaton quite some time to awake from process. Perhaps we go get you some of that delicious meat out on the streets. I will help you. And I need a new skull myself.
Never had gnome liver, so you know. If you change your mind, let me know.
Okay, my friend. I'm not sure his liver is anything left living with that piece of organ. But if something could get that cool drugged, it would be Beatum's liver.
Behind you, you hear him take a large gasping breath.
Yeah. So here is what I need. Dariana, if you could help me, we have 3 scrolls here. And Cutter, with you have very nimble fingers. What I would like to do is if you could take 3 spell scrolls and tear them up into strips, because we are going to paste strips to Beatum's very tiny body, including covering his toes, unfortunately. And if we could do that now, that would be a good idea, because we will need to do it before he actually dies.
Okay.
All right, I'll take the.
Okay.
Well, are you giving me scrolls? Like, where are these scrolls?
So the 3 scrolls from what Ryan said are right next to him. So I kind of reach up and hand them to you guys, and I guess.
So what you see as you guys walk in the room, kind of, and then he lets you in. The room is beginning to clear a little bit from this smoke. You see Beatum laying in a little pair of underoos, a little banana hammock, surrounded by candles that are unlit but glowing light. And at his feet, you see 3 scrolls and a jar that you've seen before. It's that embalmer's paste, just kind of in that circle of lit but unlit candles around him. And in the corner of the room, you see what appears to be a small unlit brazier.
Okay. And so I believe at this point, Beatum is on the brink of death, but the paste must be applied as a ritual to take him from the brink of life to undeath. He does tell me in this note that if it does not work, he will die, and perhaps you can have that meal you were hoping for, Cutter.
Fair enough.
Okay. And Ryan, do we need to roll to tear up the scrolls, or is that kind of a...
No, that's just something you can take your time doing.
Okay.
And
Okay. And so, and Victor's he's got that medicine skill thing where I think he can kind of keep him from dying, like just keep him at 0 hit points if that's where he's at. Because it seems like he has to be like around the brink, right?
You, with your medicine skill just base, he is...
Yeah.
His life force is barely hanging on.
Okay. And so, let's do this. He's very short man. Victor pulls out, he's got this silver skull that was crushed actually invisibly by Chernobog like many sessions ago. And he sets the silver skull, and it's got no eye sockets in it, kind of up at the head, like above Beatum. And then he asks Cutter if Cutter, will you apply strips to feet? And Beatum is in his gnome underoos, but I believe we probably, to make this as like viable as possible, we're unfortunately going to go where no man has gone before, and we'll go ahead and.
Oh, so we're gonna see if he's a thong guy.
We're gonna see if he's a thong guy, and
okay.
And then Dariana, if you could wrap midsection, and I will complete shoulders and head. And so the 3 scrolls we talked about offline. One of them is going to be mass healing word. The other one, contagion, and the final one, I believe, was web. That's what we talked about. Okay, and then Victor's gonna. I do need Katar Darian. I will need a few minutes to speak to the Dark Lord and beseech him for power to bring Beatum, because he will want him dead, and I need strength to keep Beatum so that he returns mummified and undead. Yes. And so Victor then kind of kneels off to the side by the skull and is kind of just whispering some words in Kariv. I'm assuming the paste is all glued on and the scrolls are all across Beatum's body.
Yeah. If that's what you...
Are his eyes covered even? Like he's just...
That's entirely up to you. If that is what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's so short that we're gonna be...
How's he gonna see as a mummy? We gotta leave a little eye hole, right?
Let's see here. It says the strips. So let's say this just for... I do like the idea, because he throws cards, right? It's part of his magic, and sometimes he has an eye that like pops out of his head or something like that.
Sometimes he has a third eye that opens up to help some divine things.
So what we'll do when Cutter says that, Victor kind of is going to leave open like the third eye zone for Beatum, since his human eyes won't matter anymore. He needs to see the world through undead eyes at this point.
I mean, undead eyes and human eyes are literally the exact same eyes.
They are the same eyes? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was channeling the interview with the vampire. Okay. Yeah, so there's not very many prayers in Chernobog's religion, so the prayer only takes about a minute. And then Victor kind of reaches over, grabs some of the brazier of ash. I'm assuming, does it look more like black a little bit, the ashes? Or like gray?
Yeah, it's just burnt remnants of what appears to be some type of powder.
Since this is part of what has kind of Beedom has used to take his life, he's got the silver skull kind of up above where the hole is by the eye, and then he puts like a vertical or horizontal line that crosses the top of his chest, and then 2 more lines kind of in that triangular pattern that he does normally with bones, so that kind of the bottom of the triangle is kind of where his belly button would be at. And so when you look at him right now, you see the triangle kind of across his chest, and then where his face is, where the eyes, where the scroll face is, he puts in, he smudges out little, like the shape of eyes, and then the shape of just like the kind of 2 nostrils where he's at, just so it looks like a skull. And then once it kind of looks like a cairn to Chernobog, then he takes the silver skull back and kind of puts it back in his pack. And he just is going to take a look and kind of overall, like, I'm not sure what to roll to just check to make sure that everything seems like it's in place.
That's going to be an intuitive thing for you.
Yeah. Okay. So
I will tell you right now.
Mhm.
I'm not going to bane this roll.
Okay.
But you can't bless it either.
Totally fair.
Is there anything else?
Yeah. So I mean, mechanically, I've been saving inspiration for this. Can I use inspiration?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Okay.
This is one straight roll.
I love it.
To decide whether Beedom is alive or dead.
I love it. Okay.
Is there anything else you, Victor, can think to do, could possibly aid in this ritual right now?
Yeah, I mean, so I do have where I can reach out to Chernobog.
If that's something you feel may help, that is up to you.
Well, isn't that part of the ritual? Doesn't it say in the ritual, stay and treat your god?
Yeah, Ryan added the part about beseeching him. But what's kind of weird about this is like Chernobog is like the god of death, so he would just want him dead.
Well, he will be. Sort of.
Yeah, so
the reason I added that kind of like word, like reach out to your god thing, is because it could be a religion or a medicine check. I know your religion is trash compared to your medicine. So, but if you think it could potentially help.
Yeah, I mean, it's once per day, and I think this will finally be a time when if it doesn't work, Chernobog's not going to be pissed that I reached out to him.
Have upset him twice.
Yeah, I have upset him twice. So I guess let's let it rip. Go ham on this. So actions.
So are you gonna tell me before you roll anything from henceforth?
Yeah. So I'm not gonna click on any dice. So during the prayer, during that like kind of 2 minutes of prayer to Chernobog, he does request Chernobog's aid. The aid he's asking is basically that he's in this strange land where he's kind of seen Anu Akma kind of showing some strength, but also being more of god of like the undead. And so he's asking essentially for strength in this moment to be able to beat him to the other side.
Okay. Are you reaching out to him? Are you doing your divine?
Well, so I think like when that silver skull that Chernobog had crushed during the second time, he's got one hand on the silver skull and he's got one hand kind of resting on the face, like where he had put those marks on his face.
So are you just praying to Chernobog, or are you reaching out to him?
He's reaching out using divine intervention. Yes.
Okay, so roll your divine intervention. Okay. And you need to roll, what is it, less than your character level?
Correct. Yeah, so it's just 1 to 100, right?
Less than 13.
There we go. $88. So All right.
You only missed it by 65.
Only 65.
So, so Chernobog does not turn an eye in your direction for this, which honestly may or may not be a bad thing.
He has a bad track record.
I
so.
agree 100%.
Calling on Chernobog in an instance of determining whether someone's going to live or die. Who knows if he would have answered, what would have happened?
All right, so I think we need to go ahead and take the next step. I guess. Go ahead.
Aid
Jen.
him.
No.
And
This is straight
no one can do anything. No one can use inspiration. No one can use blesses. No one can use banes. It is 1d20 plus 9, I believe, is your medicine check. There are no rerolls. There's nothing.
Okay.
As you have these markings drawn on his body, as your hand is on the skull and it is on Beatum as well, you sense the entire room begin to darken. The light that you had cast on those candles goes out. Although it is morning and sun should be pouring in through the windows, as I said, it seems dark. You have your gnome companion, almost father figure to you, wrapped in this acrid embalming paste head to toe, with spell scrolls shredded and wrapped around his small gnomish form. Again, he's barely choking out these breaths. So roll me a medicine check.
Holy shit. All right, Beatum. Funny. There's no lucky dice here, huh? Normal roll.
Do you know the target number or no?
So I did the math in my head. Do you guys want to know?
I'm just curious. So
Yeah.
Well,
know
you're going to
so
add your
bad.
modifier,
Yeah,
so
with the modifier, like just to like not kill him, we need to get like a 6 equal to 6 or above,
Oh, 6 or above.
because that'll get him to 15.
Okay.
I think is that correct, Ryan?
any total of 14 or less, and you get the sense that the shock of the failed ritual will kill him.
And we've already spent the nat 20, so we need a 6.
You're fine. You got this.
All right, baby.
You got it.
All
Here we
right,
go. Let's do it.
let's go, Kareev. And so he, Victor kneels down, closes his one good eye because the other eye is totally missing, and we'll find out if Andy has any character.
Oh.
There we go. Ah! All 3. Oh, yeah.
It's definitely not all 3.
It's not.
No, because it's 17 plus 9. Oh,
No.
the plus 9 is built in. Oh, sorry.
Plus 9
Nine's
is built in.
in.
Oh, it's cooked in. Sorry about that. Whew.
He gets 1, right?
He gets 1, though.
So as you are watching Beatum, you feel this pulse of power. Your hand's actually pushed off of his body. And you watch as Beatum turns pale before your eyes. Most of the wrappings pasted across him wither and turn to dust. The paste beneath also turning into dust and just blowing off his body. But some of the wrappings begin to glow and sink into his flesh, leaving traces of their writings upon him like weathered tattoos. His breathing stops. But that seems right to you. He lays before you, undead. His eyes stay closed, however, and it may take some time for his body to adjust and for him to wake up. You have at least partially succeeded in the ritual.
Is his sense that he's gonna be here like a whole day? That would kind of make sense, right?
That's up to you. At this point, you feel as if the ritual was successful, and he is just physically recovering, but moving him will not.
Yeah.
You don't feel like it would do him any harm.
Okay.
Do me a favor.
Yes.
What are the 3 scrolls that you have
Yeah.
that you used for him?
It was Mass Healing Word, Contagion, and Web. Is it Contagion? Contagion.
It's Contagion.
Yeah,
Roll me
Contagion.
1d3, please.
All right. There you go.
Mass Healing Word
Oh,
is
is this-
1.
I can type that
Contagion.
in, right?
Yeah, you can just roll 1d3. So wait. So Mass Healing Word is 1. Web is 2. Contagion is 3.
And I just typed the word ROL
/ roll
Okay,
space
slash.
1d3.
forward space.
What are the numbers? What did we assign them? I'm sorry.
Mass Healing Word is 1. Web is 2. Contagion is 3.
3.
Okay.
I
So I've got-
3.
/ roll space 1d3.
That's it.
Contagion's fun.
Okay. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1.
1 or 3. 1 or 3.
Oh,
Web.
We.
Web.
that was his spell, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, that was on a wand. It's like a.
yeah.
It's
I wanted him
actually
to have
massive.
contagion. though.
So
Ugh.
either 1 or 3 would have been great.
1
but
would have been
he
cool.
now-
3, I really wanted to get. So,
But he got
that
web.
was not like a 13th level wizard that can cast a web.
with a 1 level spell once a day as a bonus action.
Yay.
He's gonna be pissed. He'd probably be happier with a new character, huh?
So imprinted on him, shredded across most of his chest and midsection is just the spell scroll for web, now printed on his body like these weathered tattoos.
I like to think he just has like a web.
Yeah,
right
with the web
here.
tattoo. Yeah.
yeah, just-
Yeah.
I want to write. I want to write balls on his third eye, forehead area while he's
I would like to draw balls on his chin.
He can't move. It's a 2nd level spell. So a 13th level wizard can cast a 2nd level spell as a bonus action.
Once a day.
Once
Once a
a
day.
day.
But now he doesn't
Yeah,
need that
that's
wand or whatever.
Fucking great. We almost killed him to give him this ability. It's awesome.
Contagion is a 5th level spell, and Mass Healing Word is a 3rd level spell at least. And he got web. So
It's that wizard
good.
spell.
we're just gonna we're gonna add that to the T-shirt, just like a little bit of webbing behind him. His new favorite spell.
Oh my
It's too
God.
good.
He does love web though. He definitely has used it.
Honestly, it should literally just be like the spell bits that were left on his lower back. And he
Yes.
has,
Like a
web-
tramp stamp?
A web tramp stamp.
a
With a little
web
spider.
tramp stamp. Yeah.
Sexy spider.
On that note, we are going to take a break for the evening. We do not have a baby beat 'em coming in tonight,
Oh.
but I feel like that is a good stopping point to go to the bathroom and whatnot. So stick around, stay with us for just a couple of minutes. We will BRB and see you for the rest of the session shortly. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to the Adventure Archive. Our evil party this morning decided to use an item that they had found called Embalmer's Paste to ritually mummify one of their companions, Beatum, partially succeeding, imprinting the web spell on him permanently so that he can cast out his bonus action once per day, in addition to making him undead permanently. Beatum, the gnome divination wizard, is now undead. So,
And he can cast web.
and he can cast web. So yeah, we'll need to talk about what that means as far as undead. I think that's going to be more towards Cutter than it is towards you, Sylvester. I know that when you kind of get affected by like things that affect life and death, undeath. But Cutter, you are pretty much just pure undead, and I think that's what Victor is going to be. So as of right now, at least 3 of you are undead, and it is only Victor and our elf-marked Seraphage sorceress Dariana who are not undead. That would technically need to use the Book of Anu Akhma. I can display that for people out there. Anu Akhma's book.
Nice.
Of the Hungering Dead, which allows up to 6 players, after reading it for a 24-hour period, to be resistant or immune to Derakul and Ghoul stench, and to appear as Derakul. This is the item that they collected after accomplishing their task in the Grand Necropolis of Seawall. Andy, I don't know if you just saw, they rolled, and they also rolled for which, for those that don't know, Evil Andy XO is Beatum. He is just not with us this evening. Pop it in when he can. They rolled to see which of the 3 scrolls are imprinted on you. And you, my friend, got web. So, as we continue the day, you have an undead Beatum, now naked as Dave is born, laying on the ground. The room now
Yeah. Well, on your forehead, on your third eye.
Did you tell her that he was not
and on
here?
your chin.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it is bright and early in the morning, and you have just made your companion undead. The room has cleared of the haze of Requiem. He is lying there. What are you doing for the rest of the day?
So now that I know he's not dead and whatever, I wanted to go to the Hall of the Gravebinders.
Okay, and why were you going there again?
I was looking, I need to see some of Hara Fajadi's writings.
I thought you had already sent Annie in last session and had her steal some.
Oh shit, that's right. No, never mind. I don't have to go there. You're right. I totally got that. So I'm gonna go back to the room and I'm gonna sit down and I'm starting to pen a little letter.
Okay.
On the stationery that her assistant had given me when I was at their house.
Sounds good. Did you want to talk about what that note says at all?
So I'm gonna give it to Annie, and she's going to go after I finish writing it up. I'm gonna have her take it to into the back door that we came back into the tomb where we fought the big bad.
Mm-hmm.
Have her going through the back door and place it kind of under her body. And I will send you what I say.
Hey, Jax, thank you so much. Blessing Beatum, their boss, for surviving the embalming mummification process. We appreciate that. I'm sure Andy appreciates that. Let me add a quick bless to Andy. There you go. Up to 11 on those blesses. Do you want the stream to know what this says?
Probably not yet till I go find what's his face? Because I wanted to look for Gamal.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Doesn't he frequent where we're staying at?
Yes.
Nice.
You son of a bitch. All right. Okay. Let me catch up on some stuff here. L2 dropping a bunch of blesses. We have a bless for Victor, a bless for Cutter, and a bane for me. So thank you so much. Let me update those real quick, and we will continue on. Don't forget, you need to declare your blesses prior to your roll from now on. And feel free to use them because I feel like people like to keep you at 10. Victor, Cutter. Yeah, can we drop some blesses and banes in the chat, please? Victor and Cutter. Jason. All right, that puts everybody at 10 except Andy's at 11 and Cutter is at 8. Rongo is giving one to Dariana as well. So Jess, you have a bless. You are now up to 11.
Thank you.
Bless Jess.
And thank you, Rongo. So 10, 10, 11, 8, 11, 10, with a bunch of shields as well for people's. All right. So you are in your room writing a note. Cutter, what are you up to now?
I'm just gonna hang out because I want the story to progress. As much as fun as Rob. Yeah, Sylvester needs to stop running errands.
Yeah. Can't help it.
Jess. Dariana, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Do I know what I have to do to like become temporarily Daracool or appear that way?
It is the use of the book. So you are aware, and again, I'll show this to everybody. The Anuwakma's Book of the Hungering Dead requires attunement. So one of you have to actually attune to the book. I know you're a book lady across multiple characters.
I am.
This aged book is made of yellowed parchment bound between wooden covers stretched with black leather and is debossed with a tarnished silver ink. While attuned to the book, you can spend 10 minutes affecting your companions with the book's magic. When you do so, choose up to 6 friendly and willing creatures, which can include yourself, within 30 feet of you, who can see or hear you. Each target creature gains the following benefits. So you gain dark vision out to 60 feet. If you already have it, you are unaffected. You are immune to the stench trait of gas and aircools. In addition, you have advantage on saving throws against non-magical toxic gases or other odors, such as toxic gases from active volcanoes. You assume a ghoulish countenance. This benefit works like the disguise self spell, except your appearance changes only into that of a Daracool version of yourself. To discern you are disguised, a creature can use its action to inspect your appearance and must succeed on a DC 17 investigation check. These benefits last for 24 hours or until you speak the book's command word to end them. If you end the book's effects early, you must wait 1 hour before using the book again. So basically, you must attune to this book and just use it, and you will become Daracool in countenance as well as any number of your companions. Even those that are already undead can benefit from that. It will not do anything for Cutter since he already appears Daracool. It doesn't make you look like a different Daracool. It just would make, it's like using a filter of your face on your face already. So that will do nothing for you. It will still affect everyone else, including Sylvester and Beatum. You can have a little undead gnome, undead mummy Daracool.
Didn't like a long time ago when we ran into a bunch of Cutters, Daracool, like former soldier mates or whatever. Like there's some sort of a rank order to them or
Soldier
something like
mates.
that. They were like,
So what you're aware of that Cutter has spoken of, and stop
Yeah.
me if I'm speaking out of turn here, Cutter. Him and those people were once hunters for the Imperium. Basically,
Okay.
they would go out and find flesh to bring back.
That's
Those companions, former companions of his, are now members of some branch of the Imperium. And you recall that they wore the same livery as the soldiers at the Dread Fortress.
yeah. Gotcha.
That is when we were playing online, but prior to streaming. Actually, I think that session was the first 1 or 2 sessions once we had to switch to all online. Technically, it's recorded somewhere.
Audio, right? Audio only.
No, I think I recorded the full Roll20 sessions and everything for. Maybe I did just do audio. I think we have audio from sessions 4 to 30 or 4 to 29 that maybe one day we'll put up on stream. You missed the first little mini arc, but you could pick up from the at least 26 of the previous 30 sessions. Maybe we'll put that on there sometime. So,
Well,
yes. Question about the book.
I'll attune to the book, I guess. If
Okay.
I don't know, everybody else seems kind of busy doing their own thing, and Dariana loves books. She's kind of missing her book, so she'll attune to this one.
Yes, you're still actually on the hunt for your book that was stolen from you by Timbor.
Yeah.
Do you recall who he was working for?
It's like Madame someone, maybe. It's like some woman collector of things. I
in my
forgot her name.
notes, but I don't.
It's in my
remember
notes
where
somewhere.
in my notes, yeah.
She stole your most prized possession. You should probably remember who she is.
Does it start with a C?
It is the Countess Dalagen. She is
Dalagen.
actually a vampire, and she is the vampire ambassador from Morgau to the Imperium.
Oh.
Oh.
All right.
If you recall, you did actually bring her up to Lucan.
Oh yeah, I have permission to kill her.
You do not have permission.
Well, he doesn't care if I kill her.
The Countess Dalagen has a past in which at one point she was exiled from Morgau and has kind of wormed her way back in. He basically said, whatever you need to do to accomplish this mission, you have permission to do so. So if you can justify whatever you want to justify, you can do what needs to be done, was the implication.
Okay.
The greater good for
We can
the
justify a
Vampire
lot.
Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm aware. I'm very much aware. My wife just sending me TikToks and crap now. Worst thing she ever did was download that goddamn app. So, you are attuning to Anu Akma's Book of the Hungering Dead. Cutter, you are just hanging out.
Yep.
Sylvester, you are scheming in your room. Victor, what are you doing with Beadham's cold undead naked body?
I mean, because his sense is that it's going to take a while, and he does kind of view him as a father figure. Victor's going to kind of just stand watch, I think, like vigil kind of over him, and he's also going to go ahead and regenerate his own ghastly eyeball, and I'm pretty sure toe I cut off as well during that same amount of time.
Okay. So is this basically what you guys are going to do for the foreseeable future, is just take a day of rest?
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to go as soon as Beadham is ready to go.
Gotcha. Well, in game, it'll probably be a while till he wakes up. Meta, Andy's not here, so if you wait for him, we're in stream very early.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, yeah, I still wanted to find Gamal. Ilya.
Okay, so after you are scheming, why don't you? Do you then decide to go out into the streets of Seawall, and
well, I know I know he frequents where we're staying, the bar there. So I'd probably go hit up the innkeeper or the bartender or somebody downstairs if they know where I can find him.
Okay. So when you go to the innkeeper, he says that he does not know any Gamal Ilya.
I kind of give him a question. Look, I'm sorry, you don't know Gamal Ilya of the Ilya family. He sits over yonder. And then I slide, like under my hand, I kind of lift up my palm and there's a gold there.
I may have heard of him, yes. I do believe that. Yes. I know Gamal Ilya. I am aware of him. Yes, he is here sometimes.
And my hand's still kind of on it. Where can I find him?
I am not sure. Many of the family, once the troubles started here, decided to take a leave from the city. I know Gamal is here from time to time. I couldn't tell you when.
If you're fishing for more, I'm sure somebody else will take this gold and tell me exactly where he is.
Why don't you roll me a persuasion check, and I'm going to use one of my bands.
I am going to bless it.
Right. Got to use them if we got them.
Ooh, glad I did, because that is a red card.
I was going to say, that is a straight up, that is a nat 1 -4. And you declared a bless, so go ahead and roll it, even though it doesn't matter. A total of a d20 plus 9. You fail. You fail. Let's take off one of your blesses. Let's do you have a red card right now? Let's see. Oh, you don't. So 2 options here. You have a blue card.
What is my blue?
I have no idea because I don't. You can choose your initiative.
I'll trade my blue for that red.
All right.
That's a shitty ass blue anyways.
I know, you should have used it forever ago, but at least you gain a benefit of it now. You have neither a blue nor a red. Eric, blue card settings, 0 save. Do you like my narration of Stream Elements? So you no longer have a blue card or a red card. You, in fact, who else got a red card recently?
I think that's it.
I think I have one, but I don't remember when I got it.
They used one against you, Jess, though, during that boss battle, I think.
Oh, no, I think she got one since then because I see what it is and we haven't used it. Jason, you have a blue but not a red.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where these tokens are, so I'm going to use these pass tokens. So we have a blue
They're
card.
under the... Oh, we can't even grab these.
No, those are
Weird,
those
can
aren't the
touch
real ones.
Victor's.
I just threw bonus
Okay.
ones on just to throw it on there. Yeah.
Got it.
So Victor has a blue, Gianna has a red. Cutter has a blue. Beam has
Wait.
nothing.
What's the
Yeah, 2 blues and a red on the board.
Can
2
I
blues and a red.
use my predatory charm on him?
I mean, you still failed if you would like to. In addition to that, so
Well, it gives me advantage. It gives me advantage.
I'll allow it.
In an hour, he'll know and he'll be mad at me.
In the future.
Yeah, I know.
use
Actually,
it
no, I won't do
before.
it. I won't.
All right.
I won't.
All right.
All
right.
I'm going to take my gold and walk out.
Oh, you're gonna keep the gold that you were sliding to him?
My hand was always on. If he could tell me where he was, then he was going to get it.
Gotcha. All right. So you just kind of pluck it out from underneath his grasp as he's trying to like pull it in, and you pull it out. And
My
he's
hand
just
was
like,
always on it, and I kind of just did this to show it. Put my hand back
Yeah.
on it.
No, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. So he just kind of lets it be pulled away. You got your hands were both kind of on it. And he's just like, all right, you have a good day. And he goes back to doing what he needs to do.
I will.
Right.
And yeah, I'm gonna hit the streets. And I'm just gonna start asking around. Actually, where's the main like city hall area? Like the Capitol building, or would I know where that is?
There's not really one. The Gravebinders really kind of run the city to an extent, or at least are looked to for leadership. The city itself kind of has there's not really like a mayor per se that runs the city. If you're looking for, basically all of the biggest buildings are run by the Gravebinders. If you're looking for like the Hall of Records and all that kind of stuff, it's all the Gravebinders. So those are the people they look to, the great Gravebinder families to kind of run everything. But asking around, why don't you roll me an investigation check? Oh, and let's switch this up. We are in Seawall.
So 15.
You hear talk of the Ilya family. You heard that many of them had kind of left the area once all of this started going, but there is still an Ilya family house. Gamal has been seen around town. He does, in fact, frequent the Six Humps, which is the tavern you are. It has been a day or two, and he is usually there every few days. You have heard that since the kind of hauntings during the day at the Grand Necropolis has finished, he has been spending more time at home with his family, and some of the Ilya family has actually been returning from wherever they had been.
So I'll go to his house, the house.
Okay. You arrive at what appears to be a large, sprawling estate. It takes you a little while to get there. It is on the edge of Seawall. It is in what is considered the older districts of Seawall. They are a old family, one of the earlier founding families of this area to begin with. When you get there, it is similar kind of in status and stature to Farah Hijadi's house. It has the same kind of general build and vibe, although it is, again, older, although well-maintained. There is what appears to be an outdoor area gated, walled in the back, in the same way that hers was, with trees and things coming up. And it is a multi-layer home with a small tower, again, very similar to how hers was.
But is it locked, the gate, or?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean gate. I meant it's walled in behind, but there is no gate between you and the front door.
Walking up to the front door?
Okay. You walk up to the front door of the Ilya family home. On the door, you see the symbol, a symbol that you have become accustomed to. It is the sand. I always get this wrong. I believe it is sand lark holding a package. You know that this is an almost ancient mercantile family. It is embossed on the door. And you notice Sandlarks kind of embossed or in art, kind of decorating around the whole structure as you do so. Anywhere where a piece of art can kind of be added in, it looks to be in the shape of a bird, which you just assume is Sandlark, since it is on their kind of family crest.
Okay. I give a knock on the door.
When you knock, after a short period of time, someone who appears to be a servant opens the door. It is a young woman. Can I help you, sir?
I hand her my calling card. I'm here for Gamal.
What is your calling card?
Card that just has your name on it.
Okay. You have laminated paper in this fantasy world.
Cut out card. It's an old school thing. No, so I say, I'm Iskal Helenq. I'm here to see Gamal. I have good news for him.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
Iskal Helenq.
Iskal Helenq.
Tell him me and my colleague, who he probably knows better, as her name was Dariana, have recently handled his situation.
Okay.
Six-hump camel.
If you could follow me, please. And she kind of guides you in. And again, a similar layout, which at this point you kind of get the sense is the layout of the area. It's kind of like, how all kind of ranch style homes are kind of all the same. You get the sense these homes are all kind of laid out relatively the same. And all kind of laid out with the sun and the wind in mind. So you are brought into what appears to be a small kind of like not foyer, but kind of like greeting area. It's not necessarily a sitting area, but it's an area where you can wait. There is a bench against the wall. And she asks you to wait before she heads off to look for Gamal. After a short period of time.
I'll sit.
Right. After a short period of time, a gentleman comes down the stairs who you do recognize as one that you cast a spell on, and that Dariana had been speaking to. And it is, in fact, Gamal Ilya.
So I stand up and give kind of a courtesy nod. Extend my hand. Is handshaking a thing here? Do I know their customs? I don't know.
Let's say no, it's not.
Okay. I just kind of give a respectful nod.
He nods back.
I say, we met a few days ago at the Six-Hump Camel, and you expressed to my companion issues you were having at your tomb, and she said we may try to help. Do you recall?
I recall a young woman at the Six-Hump Camel. Did I speak with you as well?
Well, I was there. She conveyed the issue, and that we are a group of people that like to help. And I think if you go to your family tomb, you will see it has been helped.
Are you talking about the prostitute?
Well, she's not actually a prostitute.
She
But-
offered me a help that I was not looking for at the time.
Well, I think it was a miscommunication. She was offering you help with the problem you were having. You seemed down on your spirits. The town was blaming you for a problem, and this is problem has been solved. The dead are no
Yes.
longer going to be taking over the town or marching about in the daytime.
Yes, I had heard that Farah Hijati had taken care of that.
No. And you may want to look into this because we handled that. And I can tell you exactly what you will find when you go into your tomb. First of all, behind the illusionary wall, you'll find your treasures still all there. If you go further down, you'll find a bunch of undead that are now dead, a giant statue that is now dead, and a woman sorceress who is also now dead. And that was our doing. And you're welcome. And if I may, you may want to look into this Farah Hajati, because after we heard your tale, we started investigating. And this woman who is supposedly a gravebinder of the necropolis sent us off on some wild goose chase. But after a day, we figured out where the real problem was. We went and solved it in one day. One day, we figured it out. What was happening, and we handled it. And yet she sent us elsewhere, which is odd. Yes? Gravebinder has no idea what is going on in your city, in the necropolis.
I'm sorry, what was your name again, sir?
Iskal Helenkyu.
Skull Helen. I would like for you to roll me a whatever, persuasion or deception. Your call on what you'd like to try to be doing.
Deception.
Roll me a deception check.
Whew. I should have said I'm gonna bless that, but still 15.
Shoulda.
Not terrible.
You
Look, and I'm gonna stop right
so
there.
no. So Gamal is there, kind of in his sitting room. He is aware that this problem has been solved. He was told that Farah Hijati, a person who is of incredibly high status in this town, had taken care of the issue. And then this man who he has never met before comes into his home and starts giving a lot of information that contradicts everything that he currently thinks and what he has heard about this. But it raises doubts in his mind.
So at that point,
He
I'm
is
just gonna
not,
say,
yeah,
I'll
he's
say,
not
look,
fully convinced. You haven't, completely convinced him, but you get the sense that the seed of doubt has been planted.
I will say to him, I'll say, look, I'm not looking for anything. I'm leaving town. So these problems are yours. I'm just providing you with information, telling you what has happened. I'm staying at the 600 Camel. We're probably leaving first thing in the morning. I also went to confront your Farah Hajadi, and she has left town, which I find odd. You also may want to talk to the gravedigger, Golamesh. He was actually helpful. He might know things that are going on. Other than that, enjoy your day. I'm glad that this is all behind you. And I turn and walk out.
Thank you, Iskal. Thank you.
You're welcome. And head back to the 6 Camel.
Interesting. Would you like for me to read the
Sure.
note that you
Yeah.
had Annie? Jason, how easy is it to bring up an image? No, I can just drop it as an image on right into Roll20 and it can show to everybody. So give me 1 second.
How do you spell Iskal, Eric?
ISCAL.
Okay. Have to get that on a new business card.
So this is the letter that Sylvester had Annie go back in through the vent into the underground dungeon/tomb beneath the Ilya family. While she was down there, she heard some movement. It appears that the gravediggers have been sending people down in there, but have not quite made their way into the room in which you guys were, mostly because it's just a drop chute into embalming acid, and they're still trying to figure out their way in. Annie was able to kind of sneak in and put this letter underneath the body. Where are you guys? You're here. This is that letter. It's uploading. Everything is going to plan. Everyone is blaming Gamal, and the buffoon that he is can't convince them otherwise. It appears that he has, however, hired some outsiders to investigate. They know nothing yet and seem to be as incompetent as he is. They came to speak to me, and I sent them off in another direction that will hopefully end in their demise, but we must work faster. Continue to feed the idol of Anuakma and prepare for the final ritual. I will raise some servants to send you to assist. We must accomplish our task and let nothing stand in our way. Signed, H. This is in the handwriting of Farah Hijadi, now wrapped up and on the body left behind of Feretra, the Exalted Embalmer.
And then on her parchment from her place.
Yeah, and it is on the stationery of Farah Hijadi. In addition, you had shown up in the guise of Farah Hijadi and attacked Golomesh.
Yes, and said, "You know too much. I'm sorry," and attempted to kill him, but not really. With undead bats.
Layers on layers of deceit. I love it.
That's so good.
So, as the rest of the party is resting and you make your way back to the 6-up Campbell, I would say it is now midday to early afternoon. What would you guys like to do with the rest of your day?
I'm done. I'm gonna go to my room, relax, dismiss Annie, let her go do whatever she wants.
Okay. Are all of you gonna take the day to just rest, relax, eat, finish your packing, finish your preparations so that you may head out soon?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to do.
Okay. Cutter, what does your face look like right now?
It's Atticus.
You're wearing the Atticus mask.
Yeah.
You
my
all
fallback.
spend the rest. Yeah, you all spend the rest of the day, again, resting, relaxing, packing, preparing. Cutter, is there anything you would like to do in the evening?
Yeah. Why
You've been
not?
subsisting on mostly camel flesh for the time that you've been here.
I haven't had any Sawali yet, so yeah, why not? I'm going to take to the streets and see if there's any areas that are, less traveled.
Okay. Why don't you walk me through this process, this hunt? They're later in the evening, once everyone is mostly down. You know that the street's never completely really empty, but there are lesser packed side streets much of the evening.
Yeah, so I would want to check out those side streets, particularly any areas that have alcoves or, maybe old doorways or back doors or something like that I could, grab somebody and move into.
Yeah, so you see throughout the area a lot of big wide open doors and a lot of areas where much like the Siktuk camel, there are mostly like it's not tapestries. It's like fabric that is just folded down to stop the wind at night, but there's not often things completely locked off by doors in this area. The wind is a boon here. So in some of the older buildings, some of the ones that may be of either less use or lesser use, some of those are either missing or easily entered into spaces that are not often used anymore. So behind some tattered, kind of almost tarping, you can find some kind of open, unused interior spaces. There are plenty of those in some of the less traversed areas of town that still occasionally has someone walking along them.
So I'm going to just probably lurk back into the shadows in one of those spaces and wait a little bit to see if anybody is passing by.
Okay. Sure. And the narrative is all yours at this point.
You mean you don't want rolls or anything?
I'll tell you when you need a roll, but just tell me the story of what happened.
Yeah, I mean, the second I see somebody, I'm going to... I guess tell me like what would be the first person I would see, because it's gonna inform how it goes. Like, is it a kid, a woman, a man, a large man?
So you see, yeah, a dog. You see a man. This man. Is an older gentleman. Not very old, but in Seawall, when they've been in the sun their entire lives, he is quite weathered. And he is walking by. He seems somewhat spry for his age, but definitely slightly hunched and moving a little bit slower than maybe a younger man.
And he's alone?
He is alone.
And what does the street look like, either behind him or in front of him? Is it empty or are there people nearby?
Why don't you roll me a perception check?
Okay.
It appears empty.
Perfect. And how wide is the street? Is it pretty broad? Is it narrow?
I would say it's about medium. It's not as broad as the main streets, but it's not an alleyway.
Okay. I'm actually gonna I'm gonna sit sort of on the ground and near the doorway, just kind of mostly keep him in shadow. Maybe my legs are a little bit exposed, and I'm gonna sit cross-legged and just say, Change! Can you spare some change?
Okay. And hearing your clearly foreign accent, he decides to take a wide berth from you.
Okay. He gets the fucked up death. I was gonna give him a clean kill. That's what I was doing. I was gonna see what he was gonna do. So okay. So I'm gonna wait until he kind of, it feels safe enough to kind of just be on his way, and then I want to sneak up behind him.
Okay. Why don't you roll me a stealth check as this man kind of swerves away from you, not making eye contact, kind of ignoring the panhandler kind of thing.
I'm gonna bless it
still...
just cuz.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Oh, you gotta bless that 35.
Well,
you said it, so you gotta do it. It's gone.
He doesn't hear me at all. 37.
Yeah. You're a goddamn ghost.
Oh yeah.
He hears nothing, sees nothing, feels nothing, and then you are just suddenly upon him. Do you have a blue card? You do. Never mind.
I do. Yes.
Yep.
So what I'm gonna do is, with one hand, put it around his mouth, and then with the other, kind of grab him and then put a dagger to his throat.
Uh-huh.
So do you need a roll for that, or am I good?
No, you're fucking.
Okay. And I'm just gonna whisper in his ear,
Should have been more generous.
and then I'm gonna drag him away back into the shadows. And I'm really gonna like. So the first thing I'm gonna do is, actually, I'm gonna gag him somehow. So I'm gonna take like, I don't know. I'm gonna tear off some of his garb, and
Okay.
ball it up, stick it into his mouth, and then wrap, another piece around and gag him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna slowly just disembowel him.
Gotcha.
But I'm gonna sit him up.
Alright.
I'm gonna prop him up against the wall to make sure he can watch. And when he starts to look away, I'm gonna, point him down. And if he continues to look away, I want to attempt to cut off his eyelids.
He can just do. I mean, he can't do anything. So yeah, he does.
Okay. All right.
So
So he can
yeah,
never really look away completely.
Right. So as you do this, you disembowel him. It takes a lot of time for him to die from this process. And with his eyelids cut off, he watches it the entire time until slowly he does bleed out in front of you. The life just kind of leaves this now mutilated corpse. What do you want to do?
Yeah. I'm just gonna feast on him.
Okay. All right.
His face
Two
isn't very
questions.
appealing to me, I don't think. What's up?
So you don't want to take his face.
I mean, is he pretty like gnarled up, like raisined, or what?
Not too bad. I mean, he looks like an older gent, but not like, if let's say the lifespan of these people are 80, which is not in this fantasy world, I'd put him at like 55.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me attempt to cut his face off. Why
Okay.
not?
So then yes, I
haven't had one of his faces.
do want a face cutting check. So that is
It's raw
20
dexterity plus.
yeah. It's just a dex. It's raw dex plus your proficiency bonus, because you are proficient
Okay,
in the
so
basically face cutting toolkit that we created.
yeah, and I don't think I have an automated tool set up, so I'm just gonna click my dexterity and then add 5.
And then you can just oh
shit.
so you got a red card now. Do you want to
Great.
trade your blue for a red? You do, as your blue card.
What is my blue? My blue's pretty good, right?
It's
Let me
one
look
of
at
the better cards in the deck. It's a 1d12 on a skill or attack roll.
it. I'm gonna keep my blue. I'll take a red.
Okay. That one's done. They have redone
So I guess I
this
make
deck.
a mess of his face.
Yeah.
So leathery.
Whatever. It wasn't a great face to begin with.
Nah.
Yeah,
exactly.
it wasn't.
And it had no
Add it
eyelids.
in here.
It had no eyelids. Right.
Yeah, I mean you already cut off his eyelids, so it's kind of pointless. So
That's
let me
why
just
you
add
screwed
that.
it up. You cut off the eyelids first.
Let me add that to your.
It's all part of the
Yeah.
creative process. You're experimenting. Didn't work.
Add you guys all here.
You put
So
it
that-
on.
You can't blink. You're like a Kardashian. So
Roll for Kardashian.
So yeah, you fuck up the face real bad. It's been a while. It's dark. You're ravenously kind of hungry at this, and you just kind of basically stab at it, being like, I should probably do this, but you're not really taking the care because again, this isn't a very pretty face to begin with. And you, as you're carving, you're doing okay, and then it just catches on something, and you just nick in, and it just slices into the face, and it's just ruined. You can't do it. So
Yeah, my
you
blade
continue to-
like caught on one of his deep wrinkles and just totally set me off course.
It just followed along that wrinkle line.
Yeah,
just carved
exactly.
in. So you feast on this corpse, you fuck up its face, and you can't use it. Would you like to pack any of this flesh up as
Yeah.
rations? So
Yeah.
depending on how much you eat, I could say you could pack up to, how much did we say you need to eat in flesh? Like roughly
I think it was
a
like,
day.
I think in the book it was something like 5 or 10
Some
pounds, but then I think he changed it to
insane.
like 1 pound or 2 pounds or something like that. It's
Yeah, I think you can stave off exhaustion on like half a pound throughout the course of an entire
okay.
day. But to maintain, and this is all just, you know, kind of RP more than meta, because as long as you're eating at least half a pound, you're not going to get exhaustion. But what would do you right is a pound a day. I'll say
Okay.
that you could harvest, if you want, up to 4 pounds from this guy, but it would be a lot. It would fill up half your pack if you did that. It's
Yeah,
you
I'll just
basically
take-
taking like the quads and the hams on both legs. So you would basically need to carry
Okay.
from knee to hip on this dude. He's
Okay.
not very he's a thin guy. He doesn't have thick hammies. He's not packing a lot of cake, you know.
Okay, so what I want to do next is, I just have like a bunch of daggers, so I'm gonna actually, hang on, let me see how many daggers I have. Yeah, I got plenty. So I'm gonna take one of my daggers. So I'm gonna take his intestines and like kind of wrap it around his neck like a noose, and then stake it to the wall. I'm propping him up sort of against the wall, and then he's got this intestine around his neck, going all the way back up, and it's staked by a dagger.
All right.
And
So
then I don't know, just because I want to start something to see what happens, I'm gonna write in blood. Let's see, what should I write? Let's see, we see you. I'll just write we see you in blood around him.
okay, so you have this guy propped up, disemboweled, his face partially cut off.
I'll
His
take it all the way
eyelids-
off, yeah. I'll just cut it all the way off,
Okay.
even though it's fucked up. I want to leave him faceless, yeah.
Okay, so the face is completely off. He's disemboweled. The bowels are up, wrapped around his throat like a noose. Up on the wall behind him, staked. The meat on his legs has been carved off and harvested, and in blood you have written "We see you."
Yeah.
And this guy is kind of on not like an empty street by any stretch during the day. There are definitely people there. And would you like to? There is some like kind of torn tarps and stuff keeping some of this area a little bit covered. Would you like to take some of that down, or just
Yeah.
make sure that someone comes and sees it?
Or
All right.
actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to step in the blood and then kind of lead Prince out to the street, but then clean off my boot. Just so there's like a little bit of trail or something.
Gotcha. So the
Yeah.
trail leads out for a little while, maybe
Yeah.
turns a direction, and then just goes
Right.
cold.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Wonderful. So you leave this monument of barbarism in Seawall, and head back to the room, satiated with human rations up to 4 days of human flesh packed
Okay.
away. Better than you were earlier.
Yes. Yeah, I
Alright.
just wanted to see like if that would cause some weird urban legends or something going on in
I
the...
guess we'll see if you
and
guys
then,
ever make your way
whatever
back
come
through
back.
Seawall. Yeah. So, the rest of you sleep, spend the night. Dariana, you've been kind of leafing through this book, attuning to it, getting used to it. The wording prior to you attuning to it, as you begin to try to read the book throughout the day, it's incredibly difficult to discern. For the most part, you are unable to. It is not in language that you are aware. It is kind of like an ancient form of Nurian. There is a little bit of common, enough that maybe you can pick out like 1 or 2 words every now and then, just because they're kind of similar to words you already know. Maybe words that are already rooted in Nurian. But the longer you look at these pages and the longer you flip through it, the more that the pages seem to be legible. And without even realizing it, as you continue to flip through it, you are eventually reading it. If someone reached a finger in and pointed out a word and say, what does that say? You would have no idea. But as you're sitting there reading it, it all just seems to make sense to you. And you get a grasp of Anu Akma's Book of the Hungering Dead, and you also now understand how to use it. As you're reading it, you come across the command word that, after reading it, is used to both trigger and disengage this ability. What is the command word that you find?
Looks around the room. How about should it sound like Seawallian?
Seawallian, yes. It's whatever. If you would prefer to translate it to common, that's fine. It's just what word comes to mind, and what word, as you're reading this book, sticks in your mind that you realize is the command word to initiate the spell that turns you all into undead-looking Derakul.
How about toes?
All right. Yeah.
Oh, Ryan's gonna murder all of us.
Never gets old.
Toes. It's toes. Yeah.
It's not Titanic.
Balls.
Well, because you already got plenty of balls in your face. We don't need more in the
Chin
book.
balls.
It could have been worse. Andy, it was almost balls.
Dariana, books, balls, and toes. So, all right. The word is toes. That is the word that
It sounds better in Nurian.
yeah, it sounds much better in Nurian. How to say toes in Arabic? Let's see.
Call my mother-in-law.
Here you go. We'll throw that in here.
Oh, there we go. Izbe Kadam.
Close enough. Yep, there you go.
Nice.
Isba al-Qadam. That is, just in case you also need the how to say it, it's that top one. There you go. Isba Khadam.
It does sound better.
It does sound way better.
So yeah, that sounds a lot better in Nurian. So there you go. That is command word to turn you all into Derakul, you son of bitches. It is Isba Kadam, which is toast. So you learn this. The day goes by. The night is uneventful for all of you. Cutter goes out and creates his gruesome masterpiece. The rest of the night goes by, and the morning rises.
Wait, during the night though, I did want to do one thing.
What's that?
I want to hop into what Haja Faradi's dreams again.
Yeah.
But I was just gonna send Annie and say, Annie, have fun.
Okay. Sounds good.
I just don't want her
if
well
it's-
rested.
Gotcha. If at some point you want to write down what Annie does to her based on the spell, feel free, and we'll just drop that into the chat sometime before next week or something like that.
Cool.
So as the morning rises, Victor, I assumed you stayed with Beatum. You see him stirring slightly, but still not fully awakening from this process. His body now is even paler than it was before, and these markings on his flesh are becoming a little bit more vibrant, kind of, as it seems to settle into him. His breathing is more regular, but he's not breathing, which is a good sign for you.
Yeah.
But he does move occasionally, little like twitches and things like that. But he does not, at this point, appear to be moving. You know that tonight is the absolute deadline to meet Selvin at the park, but what would you guys like to do? You could leave now and head over to meet her if you want. Or you could wait till this evening.
During breakfast, Victor, is Cutter, you don't really go to breakfast, but do you sit downstairs at all?
Sure.
Okay. So, Cutter, curious, were you able to find all-night diner?
Of course.
So it got me thinking. The problems you have had all the time I've known you up here in Sunshine must be very similar for people like myself and Dariana underground. Do we need to fill Beatum's bag with as much human sustenance as we can find?
Are you worried there is no flesh below?
Oh, I believe
There is plenty.
Flesh. I do not prefer raw flesh myself. I'm curious. I imagine it is not designed for my kind. Even if I look like as beautiful as they are cool.
Your
Master
appetite
winces
may
when you say
change when you do.
And Dariana, are you there?
Sure.
Do you think we should bring food for ourselves? We normally do not worry about this, but I'm starting to think that could be a role reversal, so to speak.
Sure. I don't think it'd be a bad idea.
And Beatum has spent almost all the money, though, right, Ryan? Like they bought almost everything. He spent almost everything he had, I think.
No, he spent
Yeah.
he spent a little bit. He didn't want to spend it all to buy the expensive scroll, which is why he has web. We still have a lot of money actually, because he didn't want to spend it all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he has, but I feel like he has like at least well over 1,000.
He has a lot. There was a good scroll that he thought about buying, but he didn't because he said that would have taken all our money. So he didn't buy the expensive scroll last time.
So, as you guys have been eating and stuff over the last day or two, if you'd wanted to, you could just be packing away some of those provisions. I assume that's what you guys are doing. You have like standard provisions, and honestly, like on top of the gyms, you guys have other monies too. I'm not super concerned about it as long as you track the gyms mostly. If you want like, hardtack and pack like that and pack stuff like that, and then just some leftovers from the meals you've been having, bread and meats and cheeses, you're more than welcome to say that that's already been packed up and you guys are pretty much ready to go with your packs and everything.
Cool.
And Victor, you can eat what Cutter eats, just put it over a flame for a little bit.
Well, definitely willing to try eventually, but
it's good.
Hope it does not come to this. Oh, you speak from experience, my friend.
Yeah.
Recently?
No, but it's just meat.
Your voice been very pragmatic.
Yeah.
Meat's meat, right?
Yeah.
Right, Cutter?
He just likes us his raw.
Yeah,
We like ours cooked.
I kind
We
of
can,
miss like
get, we can get flame down there. That's not a problem. So
fat is flavor. Okay.
There you go. So are you guys heading towards Selvin?
yes,
Yeah, I think
yes,
so.
yes.
We're as ready as we can be.
So you
Do I need to carry Beatum?
I
Or
mean
can he
he ain't
walk?
walking.
He's not walking. Yeah. Okay. So
Unless you could weaken a birdies him if you really want, but
no. I got him.
He's in the beat 'em Bjorn.
Yeah, I'm gonna do him in the wrap like how we did many episodes ago.
yeah, we gotta do a beat 'em in a Bjorn all over shirt design with just like
Mhm.
beat 'em and like a strap that goes across it. That'll be yeah. We'll drop that merch sometime in the future. Technically, he doesn't need to breathe anymore, so technically you could
I could
put him
just
in the
shove him in
bag.
Bag him. Bag him.
With Brian.
We totally
Yeah.
have to do that. Him and Brian both.
I don't. Is Brian? No, Brian's in a wine barrel in the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, he's just
He
kind
would
of.
dissolve him.
He also does not need to breathe. So is that what you do? You're gonna just. I assumed you clothed him back up at some point. Put
Yeah.
his-
It's
put him back
it's
in his
probably
little-
safer for him in the bag, I would guess.
It's up to you. He literally does not need to breathe at this point. So.
Yes. I
All
think
right,
this
so you
is
just
perfect for him.
stuff. You put him back in his clothes and stuff him in his pack and his belongings like down in the bag and just like
Make sure
give him
it's
a little boop and just just stuff him down in there and you have beat him in the bag of holding.
Hope it
So,
doesn't get stolen.
You got a lot of stuff.
Not
in
to
there. You
get
better
Brian
not lose
an
it.
extra hook, but yeah.
I was gonna say, let me take a note real quick.
Yeah. There's a lot of little street thieves around this place.
Lots of stuff in the bag of holding. Would suck if they lost it. Dot, 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 dot. All right. Okay. Notes. So as you guys make your way through Seawall, it is mid-morning. It is jam-packed through the markets. A number of people tried to pick your pockets. You are quite aware of it, though. Your gold is in deep layers underneath your hands. No one can. A couple of hands are swatted away. You don't see them as they come in. And you make your way to the park. Once you get there, you see a hooded figure kind of just waiting on a bench. You know that when you came out of the wall, in the area that you're in, it is a small park kind of on the edge of Seawall. There are a number of shaded trees, a small fountain, and on a bench is this shaded figure. And as you all kind of filter into this small park area with this kind of facade, you see this figure there, and you see Selvin. Let me drag her picture back across here. Yes, Selvin was once played by, started by being played by our wonderful Sisla22, aka Janelle. And this is the figure that you see, but she is garbed in kind of city clothes, like local clothes with the hood up. She is Zerkul. She does not like the sun, much like Cutter, and it is very sunny out. The other thing, and she says, I was honestly not expecting you until this evening, but I'm glad you arrived a bit early. As you are aware, there is a time limit that you have. The ritual does take place at the next full moon.
Well, let's make haste.
Did you
Medicine.
wait? Sorry, did you say it takes place during the full moon or until the next full moon?
The next full moon.
Next full moon.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like you have a little time, but not much.
That is, we'll say 23 days away. So note taker.
Yep.
Henceforth,
Keep track.
the time you spend.
Oh, I
is on
like
the count.
countdowns. Okay. There we go.
No more shopping episodes, Sylvester. We must make haste.
I haven't shopped. You did the shopping. You went out for dinner.
I use no coin.
Nor did I.
Shotty copies.
I'm trying to find this other item that I know I pulled in here. From her person, she pulls out. I'll just move this over here. We will move Selvin to the token layer. She pulls out this key, which was given to her. Yeah. Which was given to her by her benefactor in the Ghoul Imperium. You know that she described this key before as one that is capable of opening a portal to the underworld. It can only be used
Where is
once.
the door?
The door is follows the same ley lines as the Shadow Road, but the Ghoul Imperium has powerful arcanists. The closest I can get you to the Empire without their notice is a place known as the Pillars of the Underworld. Southwest of the Pillars is the Kobold City of Lillithor. It would probably be your best place to start your search. Do you know what it is you're going to seek?
No. Tell us.
I've told you once before the story of Tondaril.
I believe,
believe-
that we were going to follow insects, yes, Sullivan?
Well, Neresain, the last king, has often found the insects, yes.
Is there
Beyond
any
that,
chance-
yes.
Is there any chance that he is your benefactor? Very
only
stylish
it-
key.
If only it were that easy for you, I'm afraid not. You will need to find him if you are looking for allies to help you in your quest. And allies are something I would suggest. So, to the Pillars of the Underworld, and seek the Kobold City of Lillithor to the southwest. Begin your search there. Beyond that, I cannot help you. Once you get deeper into the Ghoul Imperium, maybe my benefactor and yours may make themselves known. And with
Any
that,
information about this place?
which place is that?
Where we're going? Lilliford.
It is a large
That
city
might
of
be
kobolds. It is a large city of kobolds on the outskirts of the Imperium. Kobolds can be useful, do not dismiss them. Any other questions?
How far is it to get there?
The pillars are not that easy to traverse. It should not be more than a day or two from where you may be dropped off. I cannot tell you exactly where that'd be, just a general location. The portal will open where the portal opens.
Final question still. Dariana has ability to turn herself and myself and our friends who do not look Darkul into Darkul. Do we need to be Darkul before entering Lilifor? Or because kobolds run city, perhaps we are safe?
That would be entirely up to you. But understand, the underworld is a small place. Rumors spread quickly. Outsiders are known even quicker. I'm aware of the book and its powers. Use it wisely. But if I were you, I would not be caught by the Darkul looking as you do now.
Dariana, I say we use book before entering Shadow Road.
Can I get some mutes in the chat? Can we get some mutes in the chat? Yeah, a couple of mutes in the chat.
Oh God, my stupid headphones. Did it say anywhere in the book how long the spell lasts?
Lasts for 24 hours.
Day.
Oh.
But you can recast it, yes?
You can. If you you should have access to it in your in your folder. You should have access to it all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you stop it early, you have to wait an hour before using it again. But you can cast it every 24 hours if you want. It does take 10 minutes to cast it if you want to stop and do that, but then you will appear in the middle of this park and seawall as Darkul before you open a magical door and disappear.
And then once we reappear, we're going to be 2 hours from the pillars, correct? Give or take. She's not sure exactly where, but
you're supposed to be somewhere around within the area of the Pillars of the Underdark, and it could take a day or two depending on where you get dropped off to get to Lilifor.
Yeah, okay. So I personally, I think we wait.
Sounds very, very reasonable.
But that's just my opinion.
Cloaked figures hurling in a park in the middle of Seawall are going to begin to draw attention. If you have no other questions, I'm opening the door and you should be on your way.
Open the door, let's go.
She turns away from you, pulls out this large, ornate key, and simply just sticks it into the wall and turns. And as she does, this doorway from where the key is, a glowing line goes down and then up and just traces out this doorway. And as she pulls the key out, she pushes in, and the whole area just opens into light. She gestures you forward.
I'm gonna move forward.
Okay.
Yep.
Each of you walk into this open door of light, almost blinded by its radiance. And that's where we're going to end our session for the evening.
Yeah.
We will pick up there next week. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Whew, quite a session. Duckster is right as we're wrapping up, giving a bless to Eric.
Thank you. Are you trying to bribe me for
Jason.
tomorrow? Is that what you're doing?
And
smart,
Jess.
smart money, baby.
Eric,
Aw.
Maybe that's not.
Jason, Andy, Jess. Is that everybody?
Yes, thank you, Ducky.
Everybody.
Jason, Jess, Andy, Matt. So everybody gets one. Everybody gets one. Thank you, Ducky, and thank you so much for being here, Omega. We appreciate that. I can't use them for Abe. Got to use them for y'all. Exactly. I only have 60,000 channel points that I can't use for anybody since I'm in every game. So thank you all so much again for being here. We really appreciate that. Things that are coming up. You guys will be here next week, or you will not be here next week.
Yeah, we'll be here next week.
Okay, so not this week, but the week after that, we're going to have, you guys will not be here. So we are going to have a, Jess and Jason will not be here. So we will going to have a special game that we will talk about maybe next week, in 2 weeks on the Dark Kingdoms. I think the week after that on Saturday, the plan, hey, Mama Guac. The plan is to run Tomb of Mercy if I can finish the prep in time. It is a module written by the wonderful Source of Victory. It is a Death Trap dungeon we are going to run on Saturday. It will run 4.5 to 5 hours. I will kill the players a whole bunch of times, and they will try to conquer this Death Trap dungeon. And it will be quite interesting. We will see how it goes. We also need to get together and talk about that and do some macros on your character sheets so the time is not wasted. At some point soon, we will also be running an adventure, a one-shot run by Jess. And also at some point when Andy gets time between work and life and children and just the chaos of living, we will also be running a dwarf-themed one-shot for charity. What else we got? Check out Source of Victory's book that drops on Friday. Sister of, I get it wrong every time because I want to say like Everwood and Everstar. It's Sister of the Everstar. God fuck. Tomb of the Everstar Sisterhood.
That's the website.
Yeah, Tomb of the Everstar Sisterhood.
Fuck.com.
It is
Fuck.com.
Tomb of the Everstar Sisterhood. Check it out. And if you like Choose Your Own Adventure books, definitely check out his Coiled Crown book.
Yeah.
It is fantastic. If Dark Souls-ish was a Choose Your Own Adventure, this is very similar to what that book would be. So It is wonderful. This is the Coiled Crown. Tomb of the Everstar Sisterhood is the new book that he is writing. He's always in the midst of like 8 projects. So also tomorrow with Jason, our wonderful, what we're calling now the non-D&D night on Thursdays, our tabletop role-playing game night. We are in the midst of our second arc of Morkborg. So please check that out. We'll be on tabletop role-playing games tomorrow at 7. You know what would have been great is we could have just flipped it this week, run Morkborg today, and it would have been at 7 on 7/7.
I know. It would have been perfect. Oh well.
Yeah, not quite.
Happy
there,
7/7.
7/8.
Yeah, happy 7th misery, everybody in the chat.
There you go. We are living the apocalypse. Anything else we have going on soon? I think that's about it. Check us on Mondays. Let's do a Morkborg. You can check us for right now every Thursday doing Morkborg. On Mondays, Evil Andy, who plays Beatum, runs Mythic Odysseys of Theros, which most of us are also in. And again, you can check us every week here. You can also check out Jason. He streams writing.
Sometimes.
He's got some amazing books. Yeah. And a new novel coming out soon, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I know. I need to finish the layout. Yes. Very soon. Don't have a date yet, but very soon. Should have been out already. That's the date.
We will definitely bump that when it comes out. Everything that I've read of his is amazing. You can check on our link tree to find exactly that, Forged of Ice and Blood. And thank you, Iron. We'll be here tomorrow for Morkborg. Already dropped to Theros. For more prep, if you want to see Tomb of Mercy prep, I stream when I feel like it on Melee After Dark. I don't have a shout out for me because it feels narcissistic. And what I think that's it. So why don't we go ahead and raid some people. We are going to, let's raid a friend. A wonderful newer supporter of the channel who's dropped by a couple of times, raided a couple of times. We are going to raid Phoenix Waki. With wonderful, awesome person. So we will drop into that raid. We're going to roll some credits real quick and then head out for that. So yeah, we will see you tomorrow. If you're here for Morkborg, we'll see you next week. If you're here for the Dark Kingdoms, and don't forget to check us out on Monday as well. So all of you have a wonderful evening.
Bye.